Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here. I'm going to make a little math video that reviews all the work we did this week. So we've been focusing on estimating with percents. And what we were doing is we were using mental math strategies, so our knowledge of multiply, divide, and we were using rounding off to estimate amounts with percents. Now, there's some benchmark percents we need to know in order to do this activity. And even though it's mental math, I do expect the kids to show their mental thoughts. So we started off pretty easy and gradually got a little trickier. So here's how we started off. We started off looking at the idea that 50% means a half or divide by 2. So using the idea of rounding off, we'd want to round off if we have a percent that's close to 50%. We'd want to round that off. So, for example, in this one, we'd say, you know what? We'll round that to 50% of, and you want to make the mental math really easy. So $58, you could do 50% of $58, but it might be easier for the kids to do 50% of $60. Now, even though it's mental math, I want them to show their mental thoughts. So what does this mean? This means 60 divided by 2, or 60 chopped in half. And that equals $30. When we're dealing with money, we always use a dollar sign in front and 2 decimal spots. So, pretty basic idea here, and we did one more. 51% of $21.75. And there's more than one way to do this. You might do 50% of 20. You might do 50% of 22, but the idea is to keep the mental math really simple. So I'll do 50% of 22. And that means 22 chopped in half or divide by 2. And that means $11. And one of the things I've been stressing to the kids is your solution is just important as your answer. I want to see your mental thoughts organized properly on your paper, nice and neat and organized down the page. Okay, so 50%, that's a pretty basic one. Then we talked about how 25% means a quarter or divide by 4. So again, if you have a percent that's close to 25%, you can round it off to that. So the first example here, 23% of $38.50. You might make that 25% of $40. Because 25% means to divide by 4, so your second number, the amount you're rounding off, should be something that's easily divisible by 4. So working down the page, we'll say that's 40 divided by 4, and that is equal to $10. So again, pretty basic idea, using the idea of 25%. And we did one more there, 27% of $76. You could make that round off 27% to 25% and make 76 something that's easily divisible by 4. Now 76 actually is divisible by 4, but it might not be super easy for the kids. And the idea is to be able to do the mental math in our head. So I would probably make this 25% of 80. And then of course I would want the kids to show what that means. Always demonstrating their thinking. It's not just about getting an answer. And then 80 divided by 4 is 20. You can see a lot of this work again is knowing your facts, right? So there's 25%. But of course that only works if you have percentages that are close to 25%. So another one we looked at is 33 3/10 repeating percent means 1/3 or divide by 3. So if you have a percent that's close to 33.3%, you could round it to 33 3/10 repeating percent, which means 1/3 or divide by 3. So your second number, the amount you're rounding, should be something that can be easily divided by 3. And this one is close to 90, which is divisible by 3. A lot of number sense involved here, right? You have to know 90 is divisible by 3. Working down the page, that's 90 divided by 3, and that is equal to $30. So 33.3 repeating percent is a percent we can use. We can also use 66 6/10%, which means 2/3, or take 1/3 and double it. So if you have something that can be easily made to divide by 3, you can take 1/3, and you can also take 2/3 by doubling it. So look at this one here. You recognize that 64% is close to 66 6/10 repeating percent. And then you want your second number, your amount, to be something you could easily divide by 3. We might make $28.50 30. We might make it 27 because both of those are divisible by 3. Let's go with 30. Okay, this means 30 divided by 3, which is equal to $10. But that only gets us to 1/3, right? And we want to get 2/3. So the way we get 2/3 is we take our 1/3 amount and we double it. And there's how we get approximately 2/3 of $28.50. Okay, so again, using a lot of percentage work, using a lot of multiplying and dividing. Okay, another percent the kids need to know. 100% means the entire amount. I often see them ponder this one and think about this one far too long. 100% means the entire amount. So if you have something close to 100%, just take the entire amount. So 98% of $2,358. We could just do 100% of $2,358. Or we could round that amount up a bit, considering we rounded up the 98% a little bit. And for this, that just means the entire amount. So understanding what 100% means is really important. 100% is the entire amount. Okay? But there is 1% that is like the most important percent. And it's the percent we can use for everything. And that is 10%. 10% means 1/10 or divide by 10. So, couple ways we can look at this. So, going with the idea, we want to make this as simple as possible. If we're going to estimate 12% of $33, we could do 10% of $30. And this means 30 divided by 10. And that is equal to $3. Now that is one way you could do it that is perfect, 100% great mental math. But there's something else we could do as well. I'll draw a line here and separate this. So there's another way we could do this. We could estimate 12% of $33 and make that 10% of $33. We don't need to round the second amount because when you're using 10%, 10% means to divide by 10. So if we take $33 and divide by 10, all that's happening is we're shifting the decimal point. Because there's 1 0 on 10, we're shifting it 1 to the left. So all you really need to do when you're taking 10% is shift the decimal point 1 to the left. So having done that, that's going to give us an estimate of $3.30. And both estimates are fine and dandy like sour candy. Okay, we'll do another one here. Estimating 8% of $48.50. Well, you might do 10% of $50. Keep it simple. And that means 50 divided by 10. And that means your estimate is approximately $5. Okay, that's one way you could do it. Or still do 10%. But don't even round the second number. Make it $48.50. Because when you're doing $48.50 divide by 10, There's 1 0 on 10 that's causing this decimal point to shift 1 to the left. And that's going to give you an estimate of approximately $4.85. So 10% is the most important one. In my second video for estimating with percents, I'm going to show you how you can use 10% to do absolutely anything. Okay? So hopefully that gets you started. That's all for now. Flexing Teacher Weber, trust me, I'm flexing right now. Flexing Teacher Weber is out.